we're going to be adding in details such as these lines here and this indent. We should have something similar to this when we're done. So to start out, we're going to do Control 1 to go to back view. And we have these lines here to help guide us. You can take a look at the reference images if you want. You can see how these lines are supposed to be. They don't look totally parallel on this left side, but then when you look on the right side, they look more parallel. So I'm not sure exactly if they are supposed to be parallel to each other or not. But since this reference has them as parallel, we're going to assume that they are supposed to be parallel. So we're going to press K for the knife cut tool. Make sure this top edge is green. And we're going to try to, as if this is continuing on. It actually might be easier if we start on the bottom edge. And we can click right here, left click, and then drag it up and try to match the angle, and then left click and then press enter to confirm that that's what we want to do. And it's going to make this nice straight edge for us. To get this second edge, what we can do is do Control R, left click, then press E, and that's going to make sure that it's even all the way from the top to the bottom. If we were to not press E, you can see that there's more distance at the bottom than there is at the top. Like if you look at the bottom, it's further away than it is at the top. Now if we press E, there's an equal distance on both the bottom and the top. So this is what we want, so we're going to left click when we have it in position. In order to keep the shading nice, we're going to need another edge on this outside. So we're going to do Control R, left click, and again we're going to press E. If the red dot's on this left side, press F. That's going to switch the red dot to this side. And bring it in close, something like this should be fine. We're also going to need another edge on the inside to help correct the shading once we bring it in. So we're going to do Control R and then E. And do the same thing here, just bring it in close. Left click when you're happy. So now what we're going to do is we're going to select these vertices here and these vertices here. You can just select one vertex, C for circle select, and get all of these here. And we're just going to pull these back some, as far as we feel is appropriate according to the reference image. It doesn't look like it's pulled in too far. However, it looks like the bottom is pulled in a little bit less than the top. So the bottom gets pulled in a little bit and the top gets pulled in a bit more. That's the way that it seems in both pictures. So we can pull the bottom in slightly, and then we can deselect it by doing C and middle mouse to deselect. Then we can pull this in slightly more. Then we can deselect this next set of vertices and we can pull it in further until we believe that it matches the correct distance. And if you need to make adjustments, just make sure you're moving all of these vertices together. So if you're going to move these vertices, make sure you have all of them, and then you can move them. Once we're done, we should have something like this. So now we can see we have our nice little indentation. The next thing I wanted to add was the curvature to this light. After this point here, it starts to curve backward or curve towards the front of the bus. You can see it here where after this point it starts to curve towards the front of the bus. So what we want to do is after this point, we want to take all the vertices that are after that point. So just select one, C for circle select, get the rest of them. We're going to do 3 for side view, and we're going to pull these all the way back. You can press Z if you want for wireframe. Pull them back to the back of the light. Take these bottom 2 and actually do C for circle select to make sure you get the center 2 as well. Drag them down to match the reference. Now we need to adjust this whole edge loop here, so we're going to Alt right click, because how it is now is just going back and then over. We want to bring this back further so that it's more of a curved shape. Something like this is probably good, so if you have a nice curved shape, you should get a better result. Just adjust this as necessary until the shading looks nice and you're happy with it. This looks okay to me. So we're going to press Control 1 to go to back view and go back into edit mode and wireframe. The next thing we can do is continue these straight up. And if we take a look at our reference, it continues up. And then it even curls around and goes to the top. So what we want is these to continue straight up. So we can do E to extrude, right click to cancel, and bring these straight up. We're going to need another vertex here at the top. You can see we need 2 vertices, but we only have 1. It's going to be best to add in that extra vertex if we have the entire bus, so that the edge loop goes through the entire bus as it's supposed to. So we're going to press Alt H to unhide the rest of the bus. We're going to do Control 1 to go to back view again, and Z for wireframe, and do Control R, left click, and when this top vertex is in line with this reference, you're going to left click. So now we should be all set with that extra point. So we can select this vertex, do select linked, Alt and Shift, right click on this edge loop, do Shift H, that's going to hide the rest of the bus again, do Control 1, and we can join these together. So we can select this one, Shift select this one, Alt M at last, select this one, Shift select this one, Alt M at last. We could, if we wanted to, take this and snap it on the x-axis here and do the same with this one. Just grab the red arrow, hold Control, hover over the vertex you want to snap to, and then let go of the mouse. So that will give us this sort of shape. However, if we go to side view by pressing 3, we can see it's supposed to be more curved, so we can do Control R, left click, right click, and then press G to move this more into position. We can snap it on the y-axis to make sure it's straight up and down, and then do Control R again, left click, right click, G, and bring this more into position. This is more of the center of the bus, so don't worry that this only connects down to here. This should be fine for now. To get it to connect to the center, we could of course take these, E to extrude, right click to cancel, bring them back and snap them on the y-axis to this point, and then take these and press F, and that will give us more of the shape that we are supposed to have, except these need to be brought down. So go to side view, select one, C for circle select, get the rest of them, and we can bring them more into position. I think perhaps we want to bring them over as well. And we may even want to do the same with this one. We could bring it over more, but I think for now we will just leave it as is, and we will make adjustments as necessary. So now we're going to do Control 1, tab to edit mode, and we want to create this piece now. It's this back door that is right here. You can also see it in this picture. It goes essentially straight across and then straight down, and then it comes down a little, and then it goes straight over. So we're going to take this point, Shift D, right click to cancel, bring it over some. E to extrude, right click to cancel, bring it down. E to extrude, and then bring it down at an angle like this. E to extrude, right click to cancel, bring it to the center. Select this one, E to extrude, right click to cancel, bring it to the center. To curve this edge, we can select this vertex, do Control Shift B. That will do a vertex bevel. Just go until you get a similar angle or a similar curvature. You can do the same on this bottom one, but it looks like it's actually pretty jagged on the bottom. So you could just leave it the way it is, or you could do a small bevel depending on what you feel is the correct decision. Either way, it's not going to make too much of a difference at this point. The next thing we're going to make is the fact that this goes down and then across. You can see it on this one where it goes down and across, and this one's missing that darker area here. It looks like these bottom two are windows, and then this top one, I'm not sure if there's supposed to be anything there or not. It looks like it's not supposed to have anything. So let's do Control R, left click, now press G twice, slide this over to this point. Then we can take this point, E to extrude, right click to cancel, bring it down. Then E to extrude, right click to cancel, bring it to the center. And we can delete this point by selecting it and choosing delete, and then vertices. So this will give us the main shape. We can alt right click on this and then press F to make a face, and this will give us an idea of what this is going to look like. But you'll notice it's all darker shading because the normals are messed up. So select one of these vertices, do select linked, go to mesh, normals, and flip normals, and now everything should look more correct. We can start connecting this over as well to make the back window. but the reference image we have shows the back window being small like this. However, in the real thing, the back window actually extends all the way over to this crease line that we created earlier. You can see it on both sides and even on both buses. You'll see that where this light is, we have that crease line, and the window goes all the way to that crease line in both buses. So the window actually goes all the way across. So we're going to do Control R, left click and drag this up. And we're going to do Control R, left click and drag this up to this next point. I believe it is that one. It looks like, yes, that is probably the correct line for that. And then we can take these three, E to extrude, right click to cancel, and bring them to the center. This will be the window area for the back of the bus. It is curved a little, and ours is curved a little. We'll probably need to make it a bit better of a curve, but it looks like we have a good start to the back of the bus. So we're just going to go to File and Save.